Hi guys, welcome to the snapper fishing baiting up video. What I was going to do in this video was just show you guys a few different ways to bait up a few different types of baits for snapper fishing. This will also work on a variety of other species. So all it is, guys, I've just got a few baits in front of me. As you can see, I've got a couple of float lining rigs here, Australia lining, float lining, whatever you want to call it. There's my special snapper rig. I'll rig up, I'll show you. Just a single hook one, and just a basic float line rig, just without the tube. What I was going to do today is just rig up a few different baits. I've got the stock standard Pilchards, what most of us use. Put the camera down a bit. Sorry guys. Pilchards, a couple of squid, I've got a bonito here, and a couple of pike. The bonito and the pike, they could be any sort of fish, from yakkers, slimies, tailor, if you're down south, if you use salmon, mullets, any of that sort of fish, you're going to rig them up the same way. I'm just going to cut fillets off and butterfly them, and yeah, just show you a couple of different ways to do it. Alright guys, so now you know what we're getting into. Most of these rigs and the way I bait is for snapper fishing. Like I said, you can use it for other species, it might help with other species, but it does work very well when you're chasing snapper around this country. Alright, let's get into it. We'll start off easy. We'll start off with some pillies here. So we've got the old stock standard Pilchards. Okay, these have been in the freezer for a while, but they're all good. And we'll start off just with a single hook. Some guys like prefer a single hook. They don't like using two hooks, so we'll start off with a single hook. And the whole idea is, I've just got a swivel on the other end so the sinker doesn't fall off. So the first one we're going to do is a single hook on a pilly. We're just going to stitch it on, what we call stitching it on. So basically, you come down about a quarter of the way, right guys, and go through the center of the body, just pierce it through. Pull the line straight through, okay? Oh, I should have the line up there. Pull the line just straight through so it's gone through. Now we'll go up a little bit further towards the head, like a centimetre or so, through the center of the body again. Just do this 3 times or 4 times. I'm going to do it 3 times, so another centimetre in the center. Push it all the way through. So basically that's stitched on. Okay, so you see the loop going around. Now we come back over. We want a little bit more tagline here. Come back over this side. What I'm going to do now with the hook is lightly pierce it under the skin up here and bring it out basically where the gills are. Okay, and just like so. So it's going to look like so. Alright guys, now what we do is just the stitching, you just pull it through. Okay, like so. Now to finish this off, that's how the bait's going to look in the water. It's going to float down like this. What we do now is because it started off about quarter way down, you're going to have you can't put it in the water like that because it's going to twist in the water. So what we want to do with the mono, just make a loop, just loop it over like so. See that? Now slide that over the tail and pull tight. That basically just creates a little half hitch. Now your bait's like that in the water. That's a very simple way to bait up a whole pilly for a snapper, or any species actually. We'll put the sinker and bead down, they'll sit there like so. How's that? How's that for a nice easy bait? So just stitch through 3 times. Just pierce it under the skin, bring the hook out through roughly where the gills are. See how far it's sticking out? It's not going to be missed. Sink it down right on the tail. That will float down through the water column beautifully. Nice and easy. How's that? Okay, now the next one. We'll do a pilly again. Then I'll take them off. We'll do some different baits. So pilly again. We'll do a whole Pilchard on this one. Right? So basically these are very easy. What I want to do, that's quite long, so I'll get a bigger pilly. So with the top hook, one I call where the sinker sits on, that's the top hook. That's where the head should be, on that one, okay? Everyone, for some reason, gets it backwards and goes that way. I'm not sure why, but I'll go that way. Head to the top. You can put it through the bottom of the jaw and up through between the eyes, out the back, the bony bit, that's very good. Or you can go through the nose, side to side, which I'm going to do for this video. Go through side to side like so. Just, sorry guys, you know, got the eyes, the nose, there's a bony bit there. You just go through, pierce them in there like so. Okay, Nice and simple. Now with the other hook, you're going to measure the line so you don't want it too tight or loose. You can measure it out and you know the hook's going to sit about there. But what I'm going to do is come up a little bit. I just generally bend the hook around, pull the line down tight like so. Then I'm just going to pierce under the skin. Okay, just pierce under the skin and just bring it out the side. Pull the hook down like so. That's it. Okay, here's another snapper bait. Very quick and very easy. Not too much lines hanging off. Hooks well and truly out from the fish, so you won't miss a strike. Like the top hook, bottom hook. Just very easy, basic ways to bait up. So, guys, before I continue on with the video, I will ask a favour. If you do enjoy these videos on Shannon's fishing and these tips I'm giving away, please subscribe, as it does help the channel out, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. The next one I've got is this my float lining rig with a tube on it. This one's basically going to be the same as the first one. Okay, same sort of deal. It's just got the limo tube. But this time I'm going to go through the bottom of the jaw, up through the head, like so. Just through the bony part up to the head, that's all. And with this one, I'm just going to lightly pierce it under the skin at the top there and just bring it out the other side, just like so. I'll do that, put it under. So we just got that. You can bait them up that way if you like. Some guys do, a lot of guys do, because it's quick and easy to push it through and push it through. I don't really like it doing that way too much, guys, to be honest, because the hooks generally sits back into the flesh, and if you put it through the other way, you can see the offset, it'll dig into the flesh, so you can miss strikes doing that. So I prefer not to do it that way. I prefer to do it the first way I showed you before. Put the hook up through the eyes, that's fine, like so. But this one, I actually just want to bring down under the flesh. Just lightly under the flesh and bring it out the side. Cheap pillies, these are very scaly, these things. Okay, so we'll just do it the old fashioned way like so. Just lightly under the skin, take the scales off the hook. See, that's not a bad bait bet. Now, it's a lot better, the hook's out, sticking away from the fish. When you put it through the flesh, you saw before, it actually digs back in and you'll miss quite a few strikes. So, generally I like just to pierce the fish just under the flesh, have the hook, sticking out well and truly away. And rather than, while we're talking about this and doing this, I'll just show you guys something. When you use an octopus hooks, these things are offset. Okay, you can see they've got a kink to them. They've got a kink. When you put them through flesh like so, when you go that way, that's not too bad. You can actually see the hook kicks sort of up and out and away from the fish. So that's a good, right? You can see that. But if you go through the other way of the fish, see the hook? It sort of bends down and in. So if you put it through this way, that point is going to stick back into the fish. You're never going to get a hook up. You're going to miss all the time. So just be wary of that. Look at the offset and just see which way it's going to sit on the fish. You sit that way, it's going to bend up and out and away from the fish a little bit, so a bit better chance of a hook up. If you go this way, you hopefully can see that's bending down and in, that's going to stick into the fish. You're going to miss. Okay, that's why I prefer just to go lightly under the skin and put it like so. That doesn't miss usually. And the top hook through the nose anyway, up through the bottom, through the side, doesn't matter, just in there. So that hook's always doing that. And one other tip with pillies, especially if you're float lining like this, what I like to do is rip the tails off. There we go, that's burley. That is burley. Just rip the tails off, that way you let a little bit of the juices go out through the fish. And I like to rip them, because I believe it, lets a bit of the juices and stuff go, a bit more smell. And the fish just, a little bit of oil and stuff leaks out. So like so. Okay, just rip the tails off. This one too, that sort of bait, I'd rip the tail off. It's already done there. And if you put the hook a bit further up, which generally I do put the hook a bit further up and I rip a bit more off, so I rip about a quarter of the bait off. It just looks natural, looks like it's been bitten. Don't cut them, just rip them, make them look natural. And with that one, well, that's a whole bait anyway, so just leave it whole. Okay, that's the first one, it's Pillies. This video is going to be a lot longer than I thought. We'll de-rig that. What else we got here? Pillies are quite simple. Undo the half hitch. I might leave that on there. I'll just use them too. See how we go. Anyway, the next ones. I won't need any more Pillies there, guys. Next one, we've got some, let's try the squid. We've got a squid here. Dodgy looking squid, eh? So you've got a little squid there. He's a little funky little fellow. What we'll do with the 2 hook, show you how to rig up a squid. Quick and easy. When I'm fishing with people, there's one thing I always see them do. Basically, it's wrong. You still get hookups, it just looks funny. What they do, everyone does this. You got your top hook, go through the top of the tail. Okay, like so. That's right, nothing wrong with that at all. But for some reason, with the second hook, people put it down here through the body. Into the thick part of the body and throw it over the side like that. Hook's in there, hardly sticking out the back here. And the head's just dangling here. I'm thinking, why? That's just not going to work. And it doesn't usually. So, what we do is the top hook's fine, everyone gets that right. But what we do with the second hook is lightly just go under the first, like basically under the hood there. Hopefully you can see that. I go under there. Okay. Then I bend the hook around and I go back through its head. And then what I've done is there, I've pierced him on. Okay. It's a bit different. Okay. I'm going to guess when I've done that then, guys, I probably lost you there for a second, so we'll do it again. Head's not going to come up, hook, head's pierced on with a hook. I pierced under the top of the hood there, come out, and then bent the hook around and went back through the head. Now the hook's actually holding the head on, and most of the time the head's the bit they eat, and sticking out there quite well, see? That's how I just rig up a big squid. I'll do this bit here at the hood again, just so you guys can see what I've done. It's easy with a better squid. These are pretty dodgy squid. Okay. So basically, through the back there, with this hook, you got the hood here and you've got the pointy bit. Just go in about 1 centimetre up, 1 centimetre in. Just push it through, okay? I pull the hook through, I bend it around, and now I'm just going to pierce it through the head, between the eyes. And there you go. That hook's covered, it's sort of buried in. The point's there, you can see the points, you can feel it. Well and truly, that head is not going to come off, it's held by the line's straight. Right. Nice, easy way to bait up a squid. Now what I was going to do with this squid was actually there's two baits here. So we can, if we want to clean it, take the guts out. I won't worry about that one yet. I need the single hook rig for that one. So this one, we'll just get the body. What I'm going to do is just cut it in half, like so. There we go. Just cut it in half. I rip the wing off. I don't want the wing. It's just like a little fillet. Okay. And with them, the easiest way to bait them, easiest thing in the world, is just pierce it through at the top. Top will look like so. And bottom look exactly the same. Measure out so it's fairly straight. Just put it in the center. Push it through once. There's a squid bait. That's one squid bait. It's just a fillet. Nice little bait to float down through the current. Okay? There's nothing simpler than that. It's probably the simplest bait of all of them. And with the head, is actually just as simple. Just a hook in once. Just a single hook. I'll take this one out of the pilly. There's one good thing about stitching on these baits. When you stitch them on, they don't fall off that easy. They don't come off that easy either. So, see, this is a flatlining rig with a single hook. Once again, usually around a 5/0 or so. You got the head there. Just quite simply, guys, just one through. Just put it through like so. That's it. That's all you need. Some guys with a snelled hook will put the top hook here and leave the bottom hook just dangling down amongst the tentacles. You can do that, but I have tried that before, and I found when you're float lining a current, this gets tangled, they all tangle up. So I just prefer to use a single hook. A single hook keeps them fairly straight, and that floating down is a good bait for reds, especially down south in the colder water. Doesn't work quite as well up here. Squid, I don't know why I don't find it works that good for snapper up here. I prefer flash baits and pilchards up here over squid. I find squid works better down south in the colder water. I don't know why, but it just is. Okay, next one before we get way too long. Let's keep this simple. Next one, say that's we've got a pike here. This could be a slimy, it could be a yakka, could be anything. All I'm going to do, guys, okay, is start down the back there, cut on an angle, and make sure it comes up towards the gut, through the backbone, into the gut cavity. See? Like so. Angle into the gut cavity. That bit there, that's belly. Straight over the side. I should have made more rigs. Now, back to the 2-hook flatlining rig. Okay? So basically like the pillies. Through the nose, and the other one out through the body. So I'm going to do here is just go up through the nose like so, from bottom to top, okay? And with the side, once again, this is the same as the pillies. Just bend it over like so, then pierce it just down through the skin here, just lightly. Okay? How's that? That's a flash bait. That's a deadly bait for snapper. Hook sticking well and truly out, other one down there, you don't miss. That's a big bait. That's a big snapper bait. And I usually run 5/0 hooks too, guys. So 5/0 octopus hooks. Whew. It's hot in the shed and they're starting to smell a bit funny. Okay, so that's one bait. That's a bait I prefer. And the other bait, flash baits, once again, if it's slimies or yakkas, some guys butterfly them. So what we do is just lay it down, start at the back, and just fill it basically, but don't cut it off. So go up, don't cut it off. Go up to roughly the petrol fin here, but don't cut the fillet off, alright guys? And then flip it over, fill it the other side. This is not a bad bait, but I find too many pickers get these and they just pick away at their fillets and there's nothing left. So fill it the other side and then grab the backbone, just twist and break the backbone out, okay? Backbone's gone. There's 2 fillets, that's a butterfly. And this is going to be rigged up the similar way to that. Butterflies work well for snapper. The only problem is, like I said, these fillets are nice, soft, juicy bits of flesh for everything. So all the small pickers will pick away at this. So you actually got to check your bait and put it down quite a lot. I'm not a big fan of butterfly because you're just forever getting all the pickers. But anyway, we're going to rig it the same way. Through the bottom, okay, up through the top like so. And you don't have to use this rig with my rig here, but I'm just, for baiting purposes, I'm just going to use this. And same again, guys, I'm just going to pierce the skin, under the skin, nice and lightly, just under the skin, and bring it out through the side like so. There we go. There's a butterfly. So you got the hook out there, hook out the side. Nice butterfly fish. That's a really good bait. But once again, it's just so easy for all the pickers to get to and rip it apart, which is a shame. But anyway, that happens. What are they, squid? Yeah, horrible looking things. Okay, last one. I've got a bonito here. I just wanted to rig up to show you a fillet. There's something I want to show you with the fillets. I see a lot of guys doing wrong and wonder why they miss strikes. I'm going to show you why you miss strikes, okay? So, let's fillet this nice little bonito. Still partly frozen. I love for a fillet. Beautiful. Easy when they're frozen or partly frozen. I'm actually not going to use a whole fillet for this one. I'm going to half it. So let's half this. So we've got a nice strip like that. This is very easy to bait up, and most of you guys know this, but when I'm out fishing, taking different people out fishing, guys, I see them use baits like this, get strikes, and then don't hook up, and they're wondering why. And what I'm going to do now, so I'm just going to show you exactly why you're missing fish, or some guys are missing, is people don't think about this. Once again, I'll just use this one. Doesn't matter if you've got the tube or not, it's just a snelled hook rig. Okay, it's very easy. We're going to put the hook through and the hook through, just one. But what we're going to do is we're going to start on the flesh side and just go through once. Okay, just once like so. That's it. Measure the other hook so it's not, you know where it's going to sit. I'm going to put it down about there in the center. I'm going to put it through. That's your flesh bait. That's done. Looks very simple, and most of you guys know this, right? See, nice and simple, very easy. Good bait to float down the currents for big snapper or cobia or all sorts of things this. But what people do, I see it all the time, they don't realise once a bait's been in the water for a while, especially a flesh bait like this, they curl. Okay, so the skin curls. But the thing is, when they start curling, the skin curls back on itself, so it curls back like so, right? See that? Understand that? What people do is put the hooks through the wrong way. So when the fish starts curling, if you're going from the skin side through the flesh side, it's going to curl and your hook's going to stick out and it's not going to miss any strikes, okay? But if you do what a lot of people do and go from the flesh into the skin, at the skin, okay, like so, that still looks good when you throw it out, nice fresh bait, but after a while, it's been in the water for a while, the warm water, cool water, it's going to curl, and guess what it's going to do? It's going to curl over the hook. You're going to miss the strike. And I see this so often, guys, just when you're using flesh baits, any flesh bait, doesn't matter what fish it is, just remember, hook goes through the skin, out through the flesh. Okay, so when it curls over like so, your hook's sticking out through the flesh, it's not being covered, you won't miss strikes. When it's from the flesh going through to the skin, like so, and flesh starts curling, curls over the hook, you're going to miss strikes every time. Okay, guys, so just be wary on which way you bait up, which way you set your hooks. Always go from the skin through, okay? Always through the skin through. So I'm just gonna, just like so, just show you again. That's the way it should be, coming out through the flesh there. So when she starts curling, which she will, your hook's gonna stick out. It's not gonna be covered up, won't miss strikes. Okay? That's just a really good, easy bait. And the last one I'm going to show you, and most people for some reason throw this away. Let's just cut this off. Okay. People are going to throw that away and think, well, here's just a head, let's just throw it over the side. Don't do that. That's a really good bait. That's a really good bait. And even still, if you cut the things in half, like so, like that, now you got two baits, all the blood and guts and gore and that. Just get a single hook, I'll just get a single hook on these, and just once again through the lips. You can just put it through the lips. Because when a snapper grabs this stuff, he swallows this whole. So just put that through the lips like so. Float that down through the water column. A half a head. Yakka, slimy, tailor, bonito, whatever you got. That is a really, really good bait for reds. Snapper love that. That's like a lollipop. They'll then just engulf that and go. Okay? And that's one bait most people don't know. I learnt that from a surprisingly New Zealander friend years ago, showed me that. And don't know how to catch snapper over there. Don't know how to catch big snapper. He told me, just whatever fish head I get, just cut it in half and use the head. He said that's a really good bait. And dang, thumbs up for that one. That was a good tip, that one. Anyway, guys, I think I've yacked on long enough about that. That's pretty much it. That's just a heap of different ways to, they're pretty basic ways to bait up baits, but a lot of guys don't know it. Just remember with the flesh baits, okay, out through the flesh, not the skin. With even baits like this, if you want to use that, like that can still use for snapper. Snapper are greedy fish. They don't mind big baits. If I was going to do this one, I'd have a single hook, like an 8-0 or something. I'd stitch this on, like I did with the first pilly, hook out the side or through the flesh, and just put a half inch around the tail. There's a big bait for a snapper. Float it down. They'll eat it, and if they don't eat it, a shark will. Either way, bit of fun. There's just so many ways you can bait up, guys. There's so many different ways you can do all this. All the baits here, junk. Oh, made a mess. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. This is something a bit different. I will be doing another bait video. I'll have to think about that one. Another gentleman's asked me to do all sorts of baits, from like prawns and squids and white baits and light baits, and just a big baiting one. What I use, how I rig up all different types of baits for different species. I'll do that in a few weeks. I have to think about that one. That's going to be another big one. And yeah, that should be a good one too. It'd be interesting to see, you guys hopefully be interested to see how I rig up prawns and like liveys and all sorts of things. Yeah, anyway, that's enough of that. I've yacked on. I'm going to say I'll see you again next week for the next video, and hopefully it'll be out fishing. Michael's starting to he's got a few big electric grills coming, and the boat's ready, and hopefully next week or the week after we're going to start doing a bit of deep dropping and at night time. Wait till you see those videos, that should be interesting. Yeah, hopefully see you out offshore somewhere. See you guys.